cemetery too, by the way, because Jim Golds can tell you here, he was out West Virginia with me at Holly Grove. The cemetery there is like 150 martyrs that were all martyrs from Paint Creek, Cabin Creek strike. And it's all overgrown, and it's marked with stones. Nobody knows even who these people are. So we are really blessed to have what we have here, and I thank everyone for what they've done here.
Next up, Nelson is here to introduce Amy Ruff. Come on up, Nelson. This was a very important piece of this program, so Nelson must have emailed me or called me 3 times. Is Amy coming? I want to introduce Amy. There's a lot to say, so thank you.
Hello again. I'm really happy to introduce our next speaker. Amy Ruff is a research director of the Illinois AFL-CIO, and some years ago our cemetery board realized we needed to do a restoration of the monument, but we were all kind of inexperienced and didn't know how to go about it, but we struggled along for a while. And then Donnie Stewart came on board as a member, and Jim Elderson came on board, and things started moving, and we got connected with the United Mine Workers, and then the AFL-CIO, and the pace increased quite a bit. And personally, I began to wonder if we hadn't took on something bigger than we could handle. But we were saved because Amy came aboard. She attended all our board meetings, gave us all the information we needed, told us what we could do, should do, could not do, kept track of all the donations, and just made it all happen. And we're grateful for that. And also, I have to tell you, Amy and President Drew were the first 2 people that I talked to about today's event. They agreed and supported me and did a lot to make that all possible too. So thank you for that. So please welcome our dear friend, Amy Ruff.
Thank you, Nelson. As he said, my name is Amy Ruff. I'm Resource Director at the Illinois AFL-CIO. And just to give a little history, in about 2014, Donnie Stewart came to the Illinois AFL-CIO and to talk to our officers, and he said, we need help restoring the cemetery, but it takes a lot of money. As you can imagine, on a monument like this, how much money it would take to really get it looking nice again like it was in its early days. When this monument was built, hundreds of thousands of people gave their change to pay for it. Money, change out of their pocket to pay for it. And so we wanted to get it back to that original time. So the officers agreed absolutely we would help. They kind of tasked me with figuring it all out. And we talked to Senator Andy Menard at the time and Governor Pat Quinn, and we applied for a state grant. I was so excited we got the state grant, but there was a catch. And the catch was, to get this $78,000 grant that we were wanting, we had to match those funds. So every dollar we raised, they would give us $1. And we did, it was a big task, and we didn't know if we could do it, but we made a dream list. Number 1 was update the monument. Number 2 was the front gates. Number 3 was the driveway. And we just made that task list all the way down to see, depending on how much money that we could raise. The best part of it was that we could count volunteer hours as part of that money that was raised. So when the bricklayers came out and tore up the bricks and reset it, all those hours we counted as money that we raised. When Donnie got a bunch of his neighbors and friends to come out and tear down the brush line and get poison ivy and all that stuff they had to do to get rid of that, we counted it all as volunteer hours, all money we raised. So that was awesome. Thousands of hours we got just from people here in Mount Olive that pitched in to get it looking good so that we could do the restoration. And then the unions came, and then the individuals came one by one, and we received donations from almost every state in the nation, from Ireland. We had donations more than $5,000, and we even had one that was for $5 from an elderly woman in West Virginia who wrote a handwritten note about how much she appreciated that we were taking care of this monument here. So it became a purpose, and we all worked together. Everybody picked up their part. They had the history, I wrote it down, they raised the money, I kept track of it. It worked out great. We ended up raising more money than we needed, that we were required to. We got all the money from the state, we got all the money that we raised, and we were able to do every project on that dream list. And it was really just, we felt like the spirit of Mother Jones was with us, because every time we'd say, well, you know, we'll try, but we're not going to get that. Well, we'll try, but we're not going to get that. And next thing we knew, we had a professional from Chicago came down and did the restoration of the monument. We had the pavilion built. We had the road repaved. We had both the entrances done beautifully. We replaced the signs. It was just kind of a whirlwind, but it has given me a place here in Mount Olive. I consider myself a grandchild or a great-grandchild of Mother Jones, along with all of you here, and I know that she would be very pleased. You know, like General Bradley said, it's so nice to have a cemetery that you can come to, and everything's so nice and beautiful out here. And I also want to say just that I appreciate Nelson for his idea of the bench for the family of Mother Jones. As a mother myself, and as we come up on Mother's Day, I know that Mother Jones is smiling down, because I'm sure that that has been was a hole in her whole life, and I'm really, really proud of that project, and so I'm happy to be a part of it. I just also want to say I upkeep the Facebook page for the Mother Jones Cemetery, and I'm going to post on there an address where you can send donations, and it's just something that we have to do as for the next generation, is to keep raising those funds, keep maintaining the cemetery, and keep the legend going. So thank you very much.
7 years ago, when I was looking for help, when we were doing the Italian Cultural Association was doing a program at the Shale Lake Winery right down the road to look at coal miners, primarily Italian coal miners, since that's who we were. I got to Amy somewhere along that chain of you really should talk to events, and it was Amy that led me to Nelson and to Jim Alderson. So you're really responsible for getting me into this.
Tell me, how did you come to mine in this town?
Welcome. I'm General Alexander Bradley, not to be confused with the lesser-known Omar. I was buried in this spot in 1918, 12 years before our most revered resident, Mother Jones, arrived. While it is true that I led marches of men and sometimes women in every direction in Illinois, she led marches nationwide, and more importantly, her spirit started marches in people's hearts like no other human being. During the 1898 Battle of Verdun, brave people died fighting for justice. Our brothers and sisters called them the Verdun Martyrs. Mother Jones called them her brave boys. This sacred ground is the home of real Union people. At her request, Mother Jones came to sleep beneath the clay with those brave boys here in 1930. Brother Joel Zanuck lies there. He was chairman of the committee that erected the monument in her name in 1936. Love of Mother Jones guided his hands and the hands and hearts of many to achieve this feat. On this Irish Day, please go on this last march with me and look closely at this monument, which was unveiled in 1936 and drew a 50,000 plus crowd of kindred spirits.
A day of riot and bloodshed, do we expect any less? When the rich must get richer, they push us to test. Should have cried to convict these criminals of coal, who ordered these men to mine for their souls. 500 men shot and 50 men down. Tell me, how did you come to mine in this town?